What up, people? This is your boy Gerald. It is Sunday, the 30th of May, 2016. How is everybody doing? No, it is not dark. It's not at night. I know it seems that it is pretty dark on my end, but it's intended because here in Virginia Beach, uh, they've already announced that we've got a depression with the weather. So today and tomorrow is supposed to rain. But that's okay though, because your boy's getting ready to start his day. And as I always do, I always connect not only within myself, but I connect with God. And as I'm sitting here, got my morning coffee. You know me, yeah. Mm-hmm. Got that coffee, and I'm just taking a second to reflect, reflect on the things that I've been exposed to in my personal life, as the things that I have been privileged indirectly to see. What I'm talking about is your connections outside your door and how that has an influence possibly on your decisions as well as how you may react to it. But you know what, y'all? Because I know some of y'all started early in the week and started your 3-day weekend. Some of y'all started as early as Wednesday. Um, I'm very grateful though, because I don't have to tell you how distracting your life can be, because you're constantly being bombarded with information. May it be through here, may it be what you're exposed to, may be what is brought to your attention. But you know what? No matter what is being placed before you, you still got a choice. Yeah, you do. And it's very important that you see how valuable that period of time is. See, I think a lot of us now are starting to understand the power of free will. Free will is one of the gifts that God gave you when he said, "Hey, you know what? I love you so much. Not only am I going to breathe the breath of air inside you, but I'm also going to give you all the gifts you need inside your spirit." And guess what? Through these experiences, there's been a battle. I know it has. I know there's been some things that you have had to pretty much pull teeth, lift up, move to the side because of how the value, how it was, how it connected to you. But you know what, y'all? I echoed this a couple of days ago. Tomorrow is Memorial Day, and I know some of y'all are enjoying that time to commemorate those that you may have been connected to through your bloodline that may have served, that may have had an impact. This may be a time where the family comes together and bonds. No matter what you decide to do with this weekend, make sure that you give yourself time. You give yourself time to focus on you. Now, I don't know if some of y'all have put this in perspective, but we are literally a stone's throw before the summer begins. I know somewhere, wherever you find this, you're starting to feel the humidity rule in, come in, and you're also starting to notice how the heat also is affecting how people respond. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. You have some people that are like, hey, I'm Gerald, I can't function when it's hot. And their temperament may be very short. I'm expressing this to you because even with that, there are going to be some gifts you're going to see. There are going to be some truths that are going to come out of nowhere. And there are going to be some validations for some of y'all that have been processing something. So, what I'm asking you, no matter where you go, no matter what you decide to do, make sure that you give yourself time. I know I'm talking to somebody. So, I know some of y'all may process your time of responsibility through quarters. Every 4 months, you want to accomplish this. Every 4 months, you want to do that. Just think about this. Everything that you have seen, everything that you have been exposed to, go back, take inventory, look at what fits compared to what doesn't. I know there may be somebody right now that said, well, Gerald, you always strive to have this optimistic viewpoint. Well, rightfully so, because it's a reflection of you. Mm-hmm. Y-O-U. You. I believe a lot of you are going to finally make the conscious decision to leave that ego alone. Love yourself more. Speak your truth and have the courage to ground your feet because, see, inside here, there's a demand for that. I know more than ever, there are a lot of people that just want inner peace. They want to be able to sit still. They just want to be one with themselves. You know how you're able to obtain that? You got to look at that person that looks back at you and tell that person how much you genuinely love you. Now, listen, a lot of people get misconstrued that when I say love yourself, that is not a indirect cry for being conceited. What I'm saying, what I'm trying to convey to each and every one of you is you have to allow yourself, give yourself permission to be vulnerable to you, to be transparent to you. No, I'm not talking about the person that has the mask that you put on every day and you go outside your door and you say, well, you know, Gerald, I have to walk and talk and act and play my part or I won't fit in. But guess what? Is that really you? And I guarantee most of you will be already know that's not me. So you're already giving a concession to fit in an environment that does not serve you. I had a subscriber write to me and said, well, Gerald, it's easier said than done, but you don't understand. Some of my choices and accomplishments have strings connected. So therefore, I have to play my position because if I don't play my position, my opportunity may be diminished. Well, if that was the case, then it was not genuinely given. So guess what? That was not your opportunity. Maybe the lesson that was being shown is to show you that if you act upon yourself genuinely, not only can you have that, but it'll surpass what is being shown. I know I'm talking to someone. If you get anything out of my videos, just know the more and more that you grow closer to yourself, not the person you've become. Because, see, the person you've become may be operating from a position of fear or adaptability, not a place of courage and truth. See, to love you, it should not hurt because that's you. So, therefore, it is required that you invest in yourself. You got to understand something. I know some people are not going to like to hear this, but guess what? You know those beautiful dreams and aspirations that you have in that beautiful mind of yours? Those beautiful ones that the world is waiting to see. They'll never come into fruition if you decide to deny yourself. They can't. Because guess what? Those dreams and aspirations come from, they should come from a sincere place. I know someone's feeling what I'm saying. So, with that being said, if your environment is not nurturing that, that's not the environment you're supposed to be in. And that's the environment that you should be in. You are being withheld, you're being deprived. I know someone's talking to, I know someone is hearing what I'm saying, but just know this, even in my walk, and I continue to strive to be the best Gerald. You're not always gonna have sunshine. Sometimes the thunder, the lightning, the things you have no control of are going to be your environment. But guess what? The moment that you decide to have that relationship with God, you put God first in everything you do, guess what's going to happen? The people and the environments that are trying to sabotage your direction won't have access to you. Because guess what? Having a connection with God is truth. What's at stake is your legacy. You can't buy your legacy. Your purpose is the paintbrush. Your life is the canvas. Not everybody is going to be privileged to see the masterpiece known as you. I know I'm talking to someone. So, once again, can you explain to me why you are allowing that fear? How about that work that you know must be done to sit dormant one more day? Hmm? Okay, I'll bring it on a literal sense. My kings, first of all, let me pump my brakes on this because I need to put some clarity out there too, because I've seen a lot of traffic on social media and there are people that are offended. I was very surprised um, of people using the terms king and queen. Um, the reason, which is kind of funny though, because I've been on YouTube since 2011, and I was the only one that was using it. But it doesn't matter. The reason why I do that, I show that as a indirect way of showing you respect because I don't know your name, and I'm not about to come up with some type of term to describe my audience because, hey, to have respect first, will you receive respect back? So it's important that you see your value. It's important that you protect your self-worth because guess what? When you make a conscious decision to do that, you know what's going to happen? You ain't going to worry about no betrayals because you're not going to put yourself in positions that's going to cause you harm. You know why? Because you're allowing yourself to connect with him and you'll be able to discern the things you need compared to the things that are nothing but illusions. I know I'm talking to somebody. You're waking up right now, looking at your watch, waiting for a phone call because you can't account for that person of significance right now. Let me tell you something. Love yourself more. Stop stressing yourself out. But look at this very crystal clear. Anything that is worth, anything that is of significant value will be protected. I know that needs to go out to someone. So if you feel that you have to put a ankle bracelet on a connection just for it to walk straight, that is not the connection that you should have. I know that needs to go out to someone. But I'll do one better. If the only way I can have a means of aligning myself with you is by deception, then guess what? All that's going to breed is denial. Don't do yourself a disservice. Love yourself more. I know some people kind of got this mindset, well, Drew, I ain't got no plans for Memorial Day. Everybody else doing everything and I'm left out. No, you're not. No, you're not. Maybe this is the moment that you're supposed to be connecting back with self. How about them things you like doing? How about them hobbies no one knows that you do? Why don't you get back to that? I know there's a lot of spoken word and I know there's a lot of writers out there. I know there's a lot of people that are connected to God that know that, hey, you know what? I need to check in. Or one better. Maybe on this weekend, you got no plans. Maybe that plan is for you to finally rest. Because you know you got to sleep, right? Can't be always on the go because guess what? When you're constantly on the go, you're never grounded. You know what happens when you're not grounded? It affects your DNA. I know there's somebody saying, "Well, I know, Joe. I'm trying to figure out why am I showing all this gray? I'm young." Because you're stressing. You're stressing. You are focusing on something that is taken away from the things that you should focus on more. How about you? How about you? I'll do one better for you. Why don't you take this weekend, since we are such a tech savvy world nowadays, why don't you go into your contacts and go through each and every one of them and assess the value of that contact. Now, mind you, a friend, time can move on and they will still love you no matter what. But one thing's for sure, is they see your worth and value. And in the intended time, you will connect, and that bond will feel like the first day you met. But those people that move in positions of the opportunists, see, the opportunists can never stand still because they don't know themselves. And since they don't know themselves, they won't know their direction. And since they can't know their direction, guess what? The consolation is they will never see their purpose. Why? Because they refuse to invest in themselves. But here's the kicker. They are terrified of looking that person in the mirror who looks back. They don't like that. You know why? Because the moment that they ground their feet, the truth comes out. Because see, the eyes are the windows to the soul, y'all. You do understand that, right? There may be somebody right now, you are having lucid dreams. Some of y'all may be even at the point you are having nightmares, and them nightmares ain't got nothing to do with you. Let me tell you something. We make a choice on the things that are exposed to us. However, some doors are not meant to be open. That's for the intended person who's watching this. You know what I'm talking about. There's some things you ain't supposed to know about. There are things you ain't supposed to see because it is nothing but a bait and switch because they want you to open those doors. But there's nothing but pain on the other side of that. There's a whole lot of denial that's going to come from it. I say to you, don't worry about it. If it's divinely meant for you to have, you'll see it again. And here's another thing, too, before I wrap this up. Make this the weekend that you learn to use the word no. That's right, I didn't stutter. N-O. And understand its importance. Because I know some of y'all are terrified to use it. But I want you to understand something. That word is nothing but a tool of adjustment for your life. Okay, I know I might have gone over someone's head. Think of it this way. If I turn around and ask me to do something, and I turn around and give you something else, which is not of your desire, but you accept it, you're also teaching me that I can do whatever. So the word no is nothing but a means of adjustment. Because see, if that person sees your worth, what your greatest worth is your time. Time is your greatest commodity because you can't get it back. If they see your worth, guess what? Shouldn't it be their responsibility to make sure that whatever is being offered meets your requirement? Yes, that's what I thought. So I hope you guys take this time, rest. Gotta drink your water, y'all. If you guys are not into your look, your body is your temple, so you have to feed it. If you ain't taking vitamins, get your vitamins on. Add them vegetables back in there. You have to make sure that your body is alkaline. It's very important because guess what? See, and I had to learn this too. Because you got to understand the person that you're destined to become, that beautiful person, the choices that you make today are going to be the filaments of what they're going to be defined on later on. So we need that body, we need that sound mind, we need the best you to be represented. Only you can determine that. You do understand that, right? It all starts within. I know that there's somebody right now, you're saying, Gerald, enough's enough. I've tried everything in my power to be to see this person as my equal, but the more I try, the more disrespect I get. Let me tell you something. In the intended moment and time, you'll be in a place of such growth that you won't have to say a word. Your actions will be your testimony because you would have been made new, because you are going to conquer that fear. You know what fear is. Finally, everything's a reality, and that's the reality for some of y'all, because some of y'all are starting to see things clearly, and you realize that where you are is not where you should have been, or whoever's trying to have access to your life ain't did not earn the right to hear you breathe. Don't That does not give you a pass to be mean or disrespectful. You got to remember, your life is the VIP. There are going to be many of people that are going to be drawn to your spirit, your allure, what makes you. But that's only going to be destined for one person. That person is going to be spiritual. You can't run from that. That's why relationships that we go out and seek upon, they fail. They intensify. You know why? Because what you don't realize is still God has that woman and that man that is being made new. They're ever so growing within themselves. They have your name written on their spirit. So guess what? In the intended time and moment, after you have prepared, God will open that door and that person will walk in your life. And guess what will happen? They will have the keys to unlock the other side of your life. You know why? Because they have earned the right through their development to protect your heart. Because you got to remember something, y'all. Every time you take it upon yourself to go do something and God ain't involved of it, guess what? You're going to get a lesson out of that. You weren't brought on this planet to suffer. You do realize that, right? I know there's somebody right now, you said, well, Joe, I hear what you're saying, but look, I am under the age of 30 and I got 4 kids. And, and, and your life don't stop, but your habits do, to love yourself more. You can do it. Because I'm going to tell you what, y'all, if you constantly keep listening to what is on the program, I mean, it's so blatant, it's all in. Listen, don't let a beat misguide your steps, which is kind of funny because all you have to do is listen to what's put out there, and that should tell you where they want you to go. They don't want you to be the best you. Why? Because they don't want you to be the challenge later. You got to remember something. You have a beautiful mind that you have to fortify. There are some people that don't want you to come into your own. So they want you to put as many shackles on your feet as possible. They want you to be able to be a social depiction, not an inspiration. So let me ask you this. Why are you trying so hard to fit in someone's circle when they can't fit in yours. I hope you have a blessed weekend. Please be safe out there, y'all. You know, officer friendly's out there because guess what? Safety is paramount, but guess what? It's still a business, and the court's got to get paid. Always place God first in everything you do, but more importantly, love yourself more. Be blessed.